I'll never Hey guys, this is your girl, LishaJoya. Thank you so much for coming to this video. I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I do when I'm inside Second Life, but I also wanted to show you guys a little something that I do. And I also want to talk about a little bit of something while I do it. What you guys see here is all my pure color plants just for this week alone, from Friday to Thursday night. So, yeah. So I'll start a new round of pure colors after this, but every Friday I organize my pure colors because it took me a while to organize what I currently have organized. I have my pure color seeds organized, my circles, and my wisps. I don't have any pure color anything else yet. I'm still working on that with my papillon. But I want to talk about a little bit of something while I do this. I've already organized the wisps and the circles already, so all I have left right now is to organize all of the pure color plants here left to do for this moment. I also want to talk about transformation, about real life and Second Life transformation. I had recently gone through some transformation in my real life, and it's transposing into my Second Life. And what I mean by that is that the old thinking and the new thinking are not the same. The old mentality and the new mentality are not ideally compatible with each other. And I'm kind of grateful for that, because now I feel like I'm comparing myself to a rose plant, if you really want to know the truth. You know, sometimes a rose plant has too many sucker kings, too many negativities in their lives. The plant doesn't grow right. It just focuses all its time and energy on that sucker king, and that sucker king never has any growth on it. It's just all thorns. It's all defense. It's all using up all the resources instead of being a resource. So, I feel like I am being cut down, and it's a good thing. I feel like God has been, cutting down the thorny defenses of me, and He's cutting everything down that's useless in my life, all my sucker kings, so to speak, out of my life. Both in my real life and in my Second Life. So, and I just feel like, it hurts. I just feel like in the end, I'm going to grow to be a better human being, a better person behind the avatar. Because we are who we are behind the avatar. We reflect. We respond the same way, because our feelings do get invested behind the avatar. And I'm going through some growth spurts right now in my life right now. And it hurts, and yet it doesn't. It hurts because any type of change in one's life can really mess up your old habits of doing things. You have to develop a new habit in how to do certain things. And now, you have to relearn how to not be like XYZ, said behavior anymore. Because you've gotten so used to being in that same mindset for like a while. Well, instead of, I'm now getting out of my comfort zone. I'm actually making friends again. Here in Second Life, it's very hard for me to make friends here in this world because of what I went through, especially about 2 years ago. And my problem that I end up having is that I keep getting too attached to people too fast, and I'm learning when to attach and when to not attach. That in itself is hard, to do, because deep down inside, I really want to get close to people. I want to help people. I want to make good friends. I want to make good connections. Yeah, I just want to, do what is right. And right now, um, I'm having some growth spurts, I guess you want to call them growth spurts, in my life. And I feel like all the negative stuff that I was experiencing before in the past, it was peering over into my real life, and my Second Life negative stuff was peering over into my real, and vice versa to Second Life. I think I said that wrong, but hey, this is what it is, this video. And God has been cutting down all the useless things out of my life. He cut out my relationship with my ex-boyfriend in real life. And God taught me that I deserve better, that I don't need to be in a narcissistic, one-sided relationship. And mentally abusive. He was never physically abusive, but he was just downright emotionally abusive, and to the point that I just could not stand being in the state, literally in the actual state, and even being in the mental state. So I felt like the only way to get out of that was to actually leave my actual state where I lived at. And my thing that I have an issue with now is that a lot of people, they see me growing, and they don't really take my growth seriously. And it used to bother me in the very beginning, my growth, people not taking my growth seriously. Yeah, it used to bother me. And now I just don't care anymore. I'm just focusing on myself. I'm not focusing on anybody else. I'm not focusing on anything. I'm just living my own life, living my own truth, if you want to call it that. I do pray for those people that have hurt me. I do pray that they change their ways. People that have, caused me to have my guard up to this degree. But I feel like I need to lower my guard too, because I can miss out on some amazing people, in which I have let down my guard even recently. I have a new sister. I have a couple of new friends here in Second Life. Like I said, it's hard for me to make friends. It's hard for me to make family. It's just hard. I even have a new Second Life son, so, I'm getting out of my comfort zone, per se, and it hurts and feels good at the same time. God has been cutting out the useless things out of my life. And the useless things out of my life were things that I've, put there. I'm the one who put the roadblocks in my life, But also, sometimes God removes people out of your life too for a better reason than they even entered in. And it hurts because you never would think, certain people in your life would lie or hurt you or try to threaten you or, you never thought that people try to manipulate you with your emotions because you lowered your heart, you lowered your guard down, and they abused it. Like, for instance, it still hurts, and I still pray for these people. But I found out that someone lied about being disabled. Um, and I actually have the proof now that they're not disabled, really. And I wanted, deep down in my heart, my old me, the old, hardened heart of me wants to just expose these people because they're trying to do harm to me even now. But, you know, it's not that I'm weak, but I'm deciding to turn the other cheek. It's not that I'm weak. It's just that I want to be treated the same way when I go to be with God one day. I want God to judge me the same way I judge other people or I treat other people. And I don't want to be judged at all. I don't want to be treated harshly. So I'm trying to let these people go, asking God to um, help me with that painful part of their lives, you know. Yeah, so God has cut people out of my life, and it hurts initially, but it just goes to prove that we really can survive without XYZ negative situation or person or idea or thought process or physical thing in our life. Um, Sometimes when God takes something out of your life, you think you're all empty inside, but really, in reality, God puts something better in your hands. He never gives you anything less or worse than what you had before. He gives you more and gives you better. So, like I said, he removed one sister out of my life, my second life, and he gave me an even better sister even now, and even improve the relationships with my current second life sisters as well. And I've seen who's there for me and then who's not there for me. um, and it hurts, but it's okay. You can't expect weak-minded people to be behind strong people, if you get what I mean. And even though this thinking, might sound like it's weak, it's really not. Um, it takes great strength to forgive those people that hurt you, because the forgiveness is not really for the person you're forgiving. It's really to free you from the anger, the bitterness, the rage that will hold you down eventually. And, that stuff can weigh you down worse than any, rock. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of hard to explain it any better than that, per se. It's because, I just, gotta let that go, because at the end of the day, I'm not living in other people's skins. I'm living in my own skin. And I have to live with myself. I have to look at myself in the mirror. I have to self-address myself and where I'm at with my walk with my Maker, my God, the Lord. Um, I have to judge myself first before I could judge others, and just move on. And so my focus has changed in this transformation. Um, and it's still changing, because there's some things I still struggle with, to be honest. Um, I still struggle with the hurt and the pain from these so-called, people that I claim to have loved me, in my real life and in my second one. And there's no proof behind the pudding, so to speak. Um, there's um, Because love is a verb. If someone says that they love you, it's a verb. And a verb is an action word, and it's something that you do. Well, you got to love yourself first. You got to prioritize and put yourself first and focus on your own healing, your own growth. Can't be focusing on other people. And even recently, I was accused of stalking an ex-sister of mine, and I've never even done it. I mean, I've been tempted, yes, but I've never done it. I've never been to any of their sins that I know of. And I actually found out that I am banned from one of my ex-sister's sin, and I was not really shocked or surprised. My feelings weren't even hurt from anything. I mean, I completely understood. And but and I found out because we were doing a Christmas hunt for papillon, and I couldn't make it to their sim, so I put two and two together that I was banned. But I really am not even remotely upset per se, because I have my own things, that I'm working on, in my life. I don't need extra chains than the ones that we end up putting on ourselves. So the transformation is me learning how to let go. Usually I'm such a fighter where I just don't want to let things go. But I've learned to love myself above anything and anyone else, to let it go for myself, because I will be the type that will dwell on a person and try to work things out with people. And I realize that these people, a lot of these people are just straight liars. They're lying about being disabled. I have, that video proof that they're not, and they're threatening to take me to court or something, saying that I defamed them when I have the video evidence that they're not even. I mean, I could go off and be all upset about it, but at the same time, lying about me, can really irritate me. Plus, threatening to talk a whole bunch of crap about people to ruin my SL business. I mean, come on. I'm not talking about, people to ruin someone else's, like SL life or whatever. So I'm just trying to do my own thing, and I'm focusing on myself. And this is one of the reasons why it's hard for me to make friends, because every single time I make a friend or something else comes along, some form of drama or something, or I see something that isn't right, and I'll open up my mouth and I'll state, hey, I don't think this is right, and then all of a sudden, all hell will break loose, or people will be fake friends and allow others to abuse you. And then when you defend yourself, that's completely wrong. I've had people, in this virtual world called Second Life, basically say, well, XYZ person is an abusive person. And it turns out that when you have proof that's on the contrary, you kind of realize, where that other person is at, like mentally and emotionally. And I'm not trying to bag on anybody that's going through stuff emotionally, especially at this moment, because even I've gone through it. I've gone through some battling of my own demons, battling of my own heart, and that's what it is. It's just battling your own self in the end. That's who you're really battling. When you think you're battling against people, most 99 times out of 100, you're battling yourself. And I'm more guilty of it than anybody else. You know what I mean? To be battling, against certain things and certain ideals of my own self. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you guys know that I'm going through some transformations in my life. And my transformations is that I'm letting these people go that have hurt me, that have lied about me, that have threatened me, in my second life, to real life. And even though I have proof and evidence to, defend myself legally in court if I have to, you know, um, I'm just at the point in my life where it's just like, I'm staying off in my own corner, and I have been this entire time. And I haven't been doing anything bad. I've just been, like I said, in my own corner. You know what I mean? I've just been trying to focus on my auction house. I've been trying to focus on now my new friends and the new hunts that are happening. I've just been focusing on myself. And I'm so sorry to anyone that doesn't like me, but I'm really not focusing on you right now. I've been focusing on myself. I've been focusing on my papillon garden. I've been focusing on creating. I've been focusing on making some awesome things that everybody can enjoy eventually. And if no one likes it, I'm sorry, but I can't do anything about that sickness that you have. The same sickness that I've been struggling to get over myself, that anger sickness. It can only be cured by forgiving the ones that you feel that have wronged you. And that's the only thing I can tell you, is that you have to forgive those other people, and you have to go through a transformation yourself. It's not going to be easy, forgiving those that have hurt you, especially since you feel so justified in what they've done was against you personally. But you have to understand, there's so many battles out there in the world, people. I have learned that people are being lied to and deceived every day by a secret voice whispering junk in their ear, telling them to be XYZ mean person, or that this person's being ill at them when that probably isn't even the case. It's called, when the enemy Satan, whispers lies in your ears. And then it's so convincing that you actually believe it. And it's so sad how we can all become so weak-minded and weak-hearted, that we just believe these voices, and that they don't ever go to the person that it's being spoken about. So instead of going to, XYZ, ex-sister, ex-brother, ex-friend, ex-whoever, whatever, I decided just to, move on, because I understand that, going through, whispering of all these demons in their ears, you know what I mean? It's a crazy spiritual battle. If you know what I mean. It's a crazy spiritual battle. And you just gotta be praying for those people, and just be quick to forgive. Quick to move on. I'm not saying forgive so they can keep walking all over you. I'm talking about the secret forgiveness that you give and do in your own heart for people. Because deep down inside, that person might have hurt you, but deep down inside, you still care about XYZ person, even though that they hurt you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even gotten remotely upset to begin with. And I had to evaluate that too, in myself. These people that have hurt me, why am I responding with such anger? You know what I mean? Why am I replying like that? It's because deep down inside, I still care about them, and I deep down inside may want a relationship or a friendship with them eventually. But, with the demons whispering in their ear, and them being so weak with hearing those negative voices that are not even really real, to a degree. They're real because they're spiritual, but they're not real because they're trying to portray emotions and things that are not even there, and try to create problems between people. And that's the other transformation thing that I had to learn myself, is that I had to learn how to decipher and just like try to let it go as much as possible. That, because we as humans, we're weak to a degree, because we are self-righteous. Um, we're all about ourselves. We're never about each other. And that's the truth. I mean, we're selfish as human beings. We're very, very selfish. Um, we don't know how to truly um, let go and forgive. You know what I mean? And it's easier to be angry and feel justified than it is to let go and have peace. And since I moved to where I moved at, I had learned that, I have learned that peace is way better than war. Even though war is exciting, war is exhilarating to a degree, but it's also very exhausting. It's very exhausting, and it just wears you down and tears you down. But peace is restorative. And that is where the enemy doesn't want you to have. He doesn't want you having peace. He doesn't want you having, quiet thoughts so you can think about God. Because all this drama is to take your eyes off of God. And all this unforgiving behavior, it's just to take your eyes off of who made you, And I'm guilty of this personally myself. And I'm, working on my personal walk with the great I am. That's who I'm really working on my relationship with. Some of you are probably going to be going, oh, now you're preaching about God and Jesus, and you're probably just going to get all upset at me. But, I mean, it's okay if you guys get upset. It's fine. Because the one you're really not upset with me personally. You're really upset because the demons that you're listening to, the negative voices you're listening to, are trying to get you to get your mind off of what the real truth is. The real truth is being loving, kind, forgiving. Those are the things that God really looks for in His people, and He looks forward to having that talk with you when you pray. You know what I mean? He looks forward to that with you. And that's the other thing in transformation with me, is that I am working my fanny off in the word of letting go. It's easier to be angry. I'm going to tell you this. I suffer with being easily angered. I do. And I can tell you that, it's one of my personal struggles. And I'm not here to say, that I'm Mrs. Perfect or I know everything, but I'm letting you know that it's a struggle that I personally have. And that I just don't want you guys to have to suffer with the same fate that I've had to suffer with, and being easily angered and being easily hurt because you're so easily angered because you're extra sensitive. You don't need to be living like that. It's a lot, you know what I mean? To be that way, and you guys have to go through your own personal transformations, and they're not going to be pleasant, you know what I mean? God's going to cut down all your sucker canes in your life, and you're going to have, once that happens, you're going to grow in the right, you're going to be able to focus your time and your energy in the correct areas in your life, and you're going to grow in more than one area. And by the end of your transformation, everyone, you guys are going to be the most beautiful rose bush in the garden by the time God is done with you. You're going to be the biggest beautiful flowers growing on your vines. Your leaves are going to look all glossy and clean. There's not going to be any bugs trying to eat you up. God's going to make you and restore you, but you have to let Him. Alright guys, this is the end of this video. You guys take care of yourselves. I'm going to finish off here in the garden, and you guys have a good day.